I'm doing my hair. This is very important. We're going to be connecting a lot of dots. Watch this video, then we'll talk.
I just love waking up to the news that while we were sleeping, Republicans voted at 2 a.m. to defund public broadcasting, rural radio, and emergency alerts. This isn't just NPR or PBS. We're talking about local emergency services, rural stations, Ambert Alerts. They wouldn't even protect basic life-saving communications. Congress is supposed to serve us, not the sitting president. Senator Patty Murray said it best. I voted no. Call your senator.
So there's a lot of that in there, right? But I'm going to be connecting a lot of dots. So please just buckle in, stay along for the ride. If I lose you at some point or you're saying, Shane, that's a little too much, just stop me in the comments. Be like, I think you lost me. But I think this all connects. Also, hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Shayna. I'm a journalist currently living in Thailand. Turn up, so now I get the chance to speak about these things unfiltered without fearing for my safety. Cool beans. I also talk a lot about decentering men, child-free living, and the social and political implications of those things through an intersectional lens on this page. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, definitely like, share, subscribe. If you think you're subscribed, check again. People get removed from the community all the time, unfortunately. If you want to learn how you could become a freelance writer so that way you could share your thoughts or get free things for money, whatever, I have a course on how to do that in the description. If you want to leave a gift, everything is in. If you want more information, if you want to read my work, whatever, everything is in the description. For now, let's talk about this. So we're going to start off with the basics. What happened? So I'm going to start off with talking about this NPR article. I will not be reading the entire thing, but we're going to start off with this. So the Senate voted by a razor-thin margin late Tuesday to advance debate on a package of funding cuts requested by Dumpy, whatever. They aimed at clawing back 1.1 billion previously allocated for the Corporation of Public Broadcasting, along with 7.9 billion earned for international efforts to combat famine and disease. Now, we could talk about the whole, we don't need to help stop famine and disease thing. Unfortunately, we're going to have to save that for another day because we're going to be focusing on the public broadcasting situation, especially in communities where these news deserts will be propagating. So first, let's talk about emergency alert systems. What goes into an emergency alert system? What counts as an emergency alert system? A big reason why I don't want kids is because I see the way that this world treats children. Now, mind you, there's a bunch of other reasons, but like, why would I put my body at risk when the world itself, governments itself, are not trying to keep me, my kids alive or healthy? Anyway, moving on. Well, isn't this a fun answer? Every 40 seconds, a child is missing or abducted in the United States. Approximately 840,000 children are reported missing each year, and the FBI estimates that between 85 and 90% of these are children. Difficult to read, even harder information to swallow. Child marriage is legal in 80% of the United States. Well, that was super cool. All of that content just got deleted, but that's okay. We're starting over because this is so important. I'm willing to keep yapping. So yeah, in 80% of the United States, child marriage is legal, and it was all 50 states up until less than 10 years ago. In 2018, that was when things started to change. And when I say started, I mean incredibly slowly, because as of now, only 10 states have any kind of laws that ban, prohibit child marriage, advocate for children's rights, or even like encourage lawmakers to, hey, maybe let's not put kids in marriages. As a Jersey girl, born and raised, very happy that New Jersey is part of that. The bar is in hell. But I mean, good job, Jersey. So just to make sure that everybody is up to date with what I am saying right now. Okay, so one, we started off with less news, greatly defunded news. And then we take another step to, okay, how does this affect us at more of a local level as it relates to children? Less information about weather alerts, especially as climate change issues are growing and people are dying left and right, and less Ambert Alerts. Less information for Ambert Alerts. Less people being able to send out information about the terrifying amount of missing kids that are coming out year after year. And mind you, the number that was shared before, that's a number that's it could be updated. It could, potentially be updated. That number also, I mean, within that number, let's not forget, there's like 50,000 missing Black girls and women in the United States alone right now. I think that number might actually be higher. I'll look that up after I'm done yapping. So then we have that, missing children everywhere. And it is legal in most of the United States to marry these missing children. Oh, but Shayna, they're probably not, like, who's to say that lawmakers are trying to make this about, like, really small kids? Like, when you're 17, you're basically a woman. Like, when you're 17, 16, like, technically aren't, like, I mean, they could consent to stuff, This has been something that has been in the ether. This is something that this is okay. Let's just read this together. House Republicans want to lower dependent exemption age in SNAP from 18 to 7. There are already conversations about lowering the age of who actually constitutes as being a child. Now, this is in part to punish single parents of young children, but this is also in part of getting us used to adultifying children. And within this, yes, child marriage, very much a part of it. But I also want us to consider that child labor is also going to be on the rise in the United States, too. Like, this is a full-blown thing that they are trying to push into the mainstream and slowly normalize. Dead children, marrying children, working children. And then as these things become more normalized, because who is going to be getting the funding to actually push out the news? So when I say news desert, similarly to so there's a difference between a food desert and a food swamp, right? Like a food desert is a place where you cannot get food, like period, point blank. But there's another phrase that's called a food swamp. Now, a food swamp is what I imagine this is probably going to end up being. Like a news swamp is closer to what I feel like this is going to end up being. A food swamp is when there is a neighborhood, but it's really like all of the food options that you have are like McDonald's or Burger King, fast food, or incredibly expensive, close to expired food that has little to no nutritional value, but it's like, I don't know, $12 to get some artificially colored box of cereal at the grocery store. That would be considered a food swamp. Now, how I feel like this is going to translate into the news space is that there will be news, but who's getting the funding to be able to share that information? Because it's not going to be like NPR is not going to be included in that. A lot of publicly available, more nuanced takes or just objective takes on the news, that's going to be less available because there will be less funding in the United States. We're already seeing what this is looking like with them getting rid of TikTok and adding, what is it, MM2? That's all about censorship. Now, one of my big reasons, and I've talked about this multiple times on this platform, arguably my biggest reason for moving out of the United States, I think I mentioned this earlier in this video, but I'm currently in Thailand right now, is for my safety. It's for my safety. I have said some things that I don't think this administration would like, and I would like to continue living outside of a prison or just continue breathing in general. I don't know. This is not to say that something would definitely happen, but also I know history. And I don't want to play that game. And this is not looking good. This is not looking good, guys. If you're into patterns and pattern recognition, this is not looking good. So be safe, stay informed, keep your kids informed. If you have kids, there's a lot of moms that are on my page. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting me. Stay informed and keep your kids informed too. Like, they need to know in a way that is age appropriate what is going on, so that way they can protect themselves. They can create community within their friend groups, within their schools. Like, this is serious. So I adore you. Stay safe out there. Let's create community in the comment section. Let's share resources. Stay safe out there, guys.